Whether you're joining us here in person or online, we are so glad to have you with us. My name is Danielle Terrelong, and I will be guiding you through today's proceedings as the moderator. I've had the privilege of working with Omni for about 2 years now, and I can tell you, I've even said to the chairman this week, I think I just need an office at Omni Industries because this is a company that works hard. We have managers and directors who are overseeing an incredible team. This is a company that is full of heart, hardworking, quietly consistent, and deeply proud of what they do. You see, they don't always shout about their achievements. Their public relations company, whom I happen to head, are always the ones saying, shout a little bit louder, because what you're doing is great work. You see, the management team are focused more on getting the job done and moving forward. And today is one of those moments where we take a moment to pause and take that all in. Omni celebrated 50 years as a company last year. And there is something to be said about a company not just surviving, but thriving for over 50 years. We're now in our 51st year. If you notice, I say we. My team and I consider ourselves a part of Omni. We are very much so we. But let me begin by where it's only right to begin, to acknowledge the leadership team, some of whom are seated here at the head table, and many in the audience here and some online. Our chairman, Mr. Von White, a man of calm strength, steady vision, and someone who has stood with Omni through all. My script actually says many defining moments. I have just changed that to all its defining moments. Our managing director, Mr. Patrick Combs, who has led for many years with clarity and genuine care, and what I've noticed is genuine care for the people of Omni. The leadership became even more evident in this last year as a publicly listed company. And I have to say a special welcome to Mr. Vincent Clark. He is by far one of my most favorite people at Omni, but don't tell anybody else I said that. He is the director of marketing and sales for a good reason, because you can't see Mr. Clark and not feel just warm, fuzzy inside. He brings great energy, insight, and very importantly for these proceedings, a deep understanding of our local and regional markets as Omni expands its reach and reputation. Mr. Ryan James, also cool, calm, and collected, even under big pressure. Ryan, thank you for your steady hand. You brought us through our financial chapter this year. Our board of directors that are joining us here today, thank you for being there. This is a very attentive and involved board. They will be called out by name later on by our chairman, who will welcome them formally. But thank you for your consistent oversight and the sound counsel you've provided throughout the year. To the management team, many of whom sit with us today, and those outside and those who may be joining online. See, people on the outside may not see it, but I can see and I can tell you about their ability to execute under pressure, which has made all the difference. I noticed that recently with the commissioning of a new machine, and our very own Chuck. Notice again, I'm at our. Well, I am a shareholder, so it's our. In getting a new piece of equipment that's going to revolutionize the production of Omni, getting it commissioned in such a wonderful, strategic, precise, Chuck is known for precision. We also recognize our auditors, Bogle and Company, who are with us today. We appreciate your thorough work and your professionalism. And for the representative from the Jamaica Central Securities Depository, we're grateful for having you with us to help us managing the shareholders' relations smoothly. And most importantly, the shareholders, many of us joining on this forum for the first time, to all of you online and here in person, thanks for believing in Omni. There's so much to believe in. and to the entire Omni team. I know some of you are joining from the office across all levels, all locations. You're the ones who really make this progress real. To the members of the media who have stood with us, thank you for being a part of sharing our history and our story. It's a privilege to have you all with us today. Your presence here says a lot, and it means a lot to the folks behind the scenes who've made all of this possible. So before we begin, may I ask everyone who's here in person to silence their phones. If you are online, you will be able to see and hear everything live as it is happening when that time comes. If you are a shareholder, you will be able to vote. Shareholders and members of the media joining us online will be able to submit their questions using the platform, using the Q&A feature that you can see on the screen in front of you. And for those of you in the room who may have a question, please feel free to raise your hand at any moment. And if you need assistance in any way, my team is here to support you. And now to officially open the meeting, please welcome our chairman, Mr. Vaughn White.
This is a significant moment for us at Omni. I am Vaughn White, Chairman of the Board of Directors, and it is my honor to chair Omni Industries Limited first public annual general meeting. It's a pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all our shareholders, special guests, members of the management team and staff. Thank you for joining us. Your presence here today, whether in person or virtually, means a great deal as we mark this important chapter in Omni's journey. Special thanks to the Omni team, led by Mr. Patrick Coombs, for their innovation and commitment to steering the company on its journey to becoming a publicly listed company. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of our first annual general meeting is included in the annual report and posted on Omni's and the Jamaica Stock Exchange websites. I now invite Vincent Clark, Omni's Director of Sales and Marketing, to offer prayer. Yeah, good.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I pray, now I can pray because I had certain things in my mind that I wasn't sure of months upon months. But as I sat there and heard the moderator clear up something in my mind, she did say, Vincent Clark is her bestie. Thank you, Daniel. With that said, I can pray. Let's pray, ladies and gentlemen. Bow your heads as we go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father and our gracious God, we gather to reflect on the past year and for the opportunities we have to sit down today to give you thanks for that past. We also give you thanks for your faithfulness to the Omni team, keeping us together from time to time. We pray that you will bless this meeting with vision, wisdom, clarity, and purpose. We pray that our goals will be met for the ensuing year, and the company will grow with prosperity and blessing. Please guide our discussion today. God, help us to make the right decisions as we work together for the betterment and the benefit of our company and us all. We leave the entire meeting now in your hands, your capable hands, and we say thanks in Jesus' name. Over to you, Chairman.
Thank you, Vincent. I was advised by the company secretary, Director Patrick Kumst, that in accordance with Article 61 of the company's Articles of Incorporation, a quorum is present. The quorum requirement is 2 shareholders present in person or by proxy. Based on this, we can confirm that there is a quorum. I now declare the annual general meeting open and duly constituted. I now call the meeting to order. As we proceed, the notice convening this meeting invited shareholders to participate either in person or online via the hybrid format and to vote on the resolutions put forward for consideration. Shareholders were informed that upon registration, they would have received an email with details to access to the private live stream of this AGM, and that they would be allowed to see, hear the proceedings, and to vote live on the resolutions being considered. I will remind the meeting of the procedures before we begin voting. As is customary, these arrangements were put in place to allow you or valued shareholders, regardless of your geographic location, to have an equal opportunity to participate in the business of your company and engage the company's board of directors and senior management team and the auditors. Shareholders were also informed that all completed proxy forms were required to be submitted to the company's registrar or registered office no less than 48 hours prior to this meeting. Apologies. We have also been advised by the company secretary, Director Patrick Coombs, that there are no apologies for absence. All our directors are present either in person or online. We have also been advised by our registrar, Jamaica Central Securities Depository, that we have received 3 proxies, and that these are available for inspection. As we settle into today's proceedings, I'd like to recognize our directors joining us today, a group of people who are helping to guide the company's growth and good governance. Here with us in person are Ms. Patricia Hale, Chairperson of the Audit Committee, Mr. Vincent Clark, Director of Marketing and Sales, is Mr. Sterling Soares here? No? Online. Oh, he's online. Okay. Mr. Lainsworth Walker, Chairman of the Remuneration Committee, and Patrick Coombs, Managing Director and the Company Secretary. Oh, Justine Collins, we left out, sorry. It's not here. As this is a hybrid meeting, one of our directors, oh, Ms. Justine, she's here, yeah. Also with us is Mrs. Tanya Waldron Gooden, our JC mentor. Our Managing Director, Mr. Patrick Coombs, will introduce the members of the management team during his presentation. We now move to auditors and registrar. With us as well is Warren Bogle, partner from Chartered Accountants, Bogle & Company, the company's external auditor. Mr. Bogle. The Jamaica Central Securities Depository, the CSD, our registrar, is also represented today. Once again, a warm welcome to all our members joining us, whether by proxy or as invited guests. The notice convening this hybrid AGM together with the form of proxy were included in the annual report, posted on the Jamaica Stock Exchange website and the company's website, and notices were published in the newspapers. May I have a motion that the notice of the annual general meeting be taken as read? Moved by? Seconded by? Okay.
Chairman, the notice of annual general meeting taken as read was moved by Daniel Terrelong and seconded by Mr. Patrick Combs.
Shareholders in person and online and duly nominated proxies, I now invite you to cast your vote for or against.
Chairman, the motion was moved and seconded by in-person representatives. With the chairman's permission, I ask all shareholders online to please cast your vote using the vote button.
Please,
Go ahead. You declare the motion.
can I confirm that how many votes in favor have been received or against?
We have how to vote. We're tallying the votes. So can we have a show of hands in the room? All who are for, and please keep your hands up. We have people counting. And those online, please cast your vote. Those online, we should have told you had 30 seconds to vote.
Yeah.
The counting in person is complete. We're asking that everyone who was for to please raise their hand again. It's complete. We will now tally the numbers, sir, and the vote will appear on screen. Chairman, I can confirm that we have 31 shareholders in favor and 0 against.
I declare the motion carried.
We will now hear brief remarks from our chairman reflecting the 2024 financial year. May I now invite Mr. Patrick David Kumst to the podium.
Thank you. Chairman, Mr. Von White, our board of directors, our management team, our auditors, Bogle and Company, representatives of the registrar, JCSD, valued shareholders, members of the Omni team, members of the media. Good morning, everyone. Let me join our chairman, Von White, in welcoming you to our inaugural annual general meeting. Before I go any further, though, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the team I have the privilege of working alongside with every day. These are the people responsible for the results you see in our numbers and the day-to-day running of our business. First, our Sales and Marketing Director, Vincent Clark. Vince brings an infectious energy and a deep understanding of our markets. With over 50 years of experience in sales and marketing, he knows how to drive performance while building strong, lasting relationships with our customers. He's not just out there selling products. He's championing the brand and pushing us to think bigger and how we show up in the marketplace. Next, our Chief Financial Officer, Ryan James. Ryan is a sharp, strategic thinker with over 19 years of experience across industries like audit, petroleum, retail, microfinance, you name it. He joined us with a steady hand and has been instrumental in guiding our financial strategy through this new chapter. Our credit manager, Gloria McNaughton, has been with Omni since 1991. That's over 3 decades of wisdom and over 4 decades in credit management overall. Gloria knows our customer base inside and out. I don't think there's a credit scenario she hasn't seen or managed. Heading up production is Chokalingam Ramasamy. He's an engineer by training with over 30 years in plastics manufacturing. He has worked in India, Nigeria, Kenya, and now here with us in Jamaica for the past 17 years. When it comes to precision, plant maintenance, and production planning, he does it with excellence. Our warehouse manager, Daniel Chambers, brings over 40 years of experience in purchasing and inventory management. He has been a rock in our supply chain and someone I've relied on more times than I can count, especially when things get tight logistically. And last, but certainly not least, Suzette Pottinger, our HR manager. Suzette holds an MBA in HR and brings nearly 2 decades of people-focused leadership to the team. She's been a key voice in shaping our culture and taking care of the team behind the business. As Managing Director, I want to thank each of them for their expertise, their consistency, and for how seriously they take their roles. When we first began this journey to become a publicly listed company, a day like today felt a distant milestone, something on the horizon. And yet, here we are. So much has happened in such a short space of time, it's almost hard to believe it's only been a little over a year since we listed. Throughout the transformation that took place over this past year, what has kept us grounded is the same thing that built Omni in the first place: clear principles, disciplined work, and a team of people who care deeply about what we do. This AGM serves as a moment for us to check in on where we've come from, check in on what we said we would do, and also how we're delivering it. So I want to thank each of you for placing your trust in us. Whether you've been with Omni from the start or joined us during the IPO, you're part of something that's still growing, still learning, and always anchored in performance. Let's turn our attention to the numbers. 2024 was an exceptional year for us. It was not without challenges, but it was nonetheless full of meaningful progress. We earned 1.92 billion in revenue, a solid year, even as we faced challenges such as regional supply chain pressures and weather disruptions. Our gross profit closed at 637 million, a 6% increase from 2023. Net profits came in at 127 million, lower than 2023, but that included some one-off costs tied to the IPO and other investments. We made a deliberate choice to spend where it mattered on growth, on systems, and our people. Our expenses were up, yes, but so was our control. We cut finance costs by 31%, reduced long-term debt by 20%, and improved our debt-to-equity position. On the balance sheet side, liquidity is strong. Our current ratio improved to 2.32 to 1, and our shareholders' equity rose to 927 million, backed by retained earnings and capital from the IPO. I must note that this performance, considering the challenges, speaks to how constant our team has been throughout the year. This resulted in stronger margins. Our gross profit margin rose to 34% in 2024, stemming from the operational discipline we've built into how we manage costs and deliver value. During the year, we made the decision not to declare a dividend, choosing instead to reinvest and strengthening the business. And we believe that this is the right approach at this stage in our journey. When we went public in mid-2024, we made specific commitments to our shareholders, and I'm proud to say that all of those commitments have already been delivered or are well underway. Here is what we said we would do. Inject additional working capital. As many of you would recall, our IPO raised 500 million in total. Half of that, 250 million, went directly to Omni as new capital. This gave us a capacity to move quickly on the things we promised and gave us room to grow, to respond to the market, and to plan with more confidence. To date, we've invested 125 million from the IPO proceeds into new machinery and critical upgrades across our operations. We expect to spend an additional 49 million in 2025 to continue these efforts and further strengthen our production capacity. We promise to upgrade existing equipment. As mentioned, we used a portion of the proceeds to upgrade key machinery across our operations, including improvements to our warehouse systems and production floor. These upgrades have already improved workflow and reliability, particularly in high volume periods. We commissioned 2 state-of-the-art injection molding machines in the latter half of 2024 as part of our retooling efforts. These machines are designed for greater energy efficiency, faster cycle times, and precision output, allowing us to increase production capacity while reducing material waste. It's an investment that has already begun to pay off, especially in high-demand areas like industrial packaging and household items. Just a few days ago, we bought a third high-efficiency injection molding machine, the Millicron 910. As part of our continued retooling efforts, it's a major investment with a value of $49 million. This machine will soon support High demand items like the bread crate, milk and beverage crates, and larger household items, particularly the laundry hamper. This is another step towards boosting output and meeting both local and regional demand with greater speed and precision. In 2024, demand across our core divisions remained strong, save for construction, our largest market, which dipped 6% due to a slowdown in the construction sector. But as we stayed focused on the bigger picture, strengthening our export strategy for the long term, exports accounted for 14% of revenues in 2024. And with new partnerships and product lines coming on stream, we're targeting 20% within the next 2 years. In 2024, we took deliberate steps to deepen commercial relationships and lay the groundwork for future trade in the Eastern Caribbean and Latin America. Though outside of the reporting year, I'm sure that many of you would have already read the news reports of our recent shipment to Guyana. We are also now targeting Nicaragua, Belize, and Barbados. So, altogether, demand remains stable across both local and export markets. And we have continued to sharpen our focus on process efficiency, cost control, and customer relationships. The outlook for 2025 is stable, with real momentum behind our core initiatives. We're building out what we started step by step. With our new injection molding machines operational, we expect to see improved production speeds, lower operating costs, and improved output across high volume lines. The demand continues here in Jamaica and across the region and Latin America. However, being selective, making sure the relationships and logistics are right, and that we can meet demand as we enter new markets. Internally, our focus is staying lean, improving our inventory systems, sharpening lead times, and keeping a close eye on cost inputs. While we can't put out a public revenue target for 2025, we aim to maintain consistent and sustainable profitability and focus closely on our margins while growing smart. There may still be headwinds, be it shipping costs, weather, foreign exchange appreciation, and factors now affecting us from the northern challenges to include tariff-driven disruptions and trade policy uncertainties. But we're in a much better position to navigate all those now. The truth is that some of what we see happening north of us could pose tremendous opportunities, as was recently discussed at the CARICOM conference held here in Jamaica. I'll close by saying this. At Omni, we don't take your trust lightly. Going public was about continuing to build a company that could stand taller, go further, and stay accountable to the people who believe in us. We have started strong, and with your continued support, we'll keep building product by product, decision by decision, ensuring that high-quality products are available here for Jamaica and exported by a strong Jamaican manufacturer. I look forward to standing before you again next year, even with better results and progress that we can feel proud of. Thank you.
The year 2024 was a defining period in Omni's journey. We listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, celebrated our 50th anniversary, and made steady progress toward our long-term goals. As I touched on earlier, part of that transition saw us compiling our first annual report, which is on the Jamaica Stock Exchange website for shareholders and any interested parties to review. The report details our performance, decisions, and the direction for the year ending December 31st, 2024. During the period, we achieved 1.92 million in revenue. Patrick just spoke about that. And how the IPO proceeds have been strategically deployed to strengthen and modernize the business. The board of directors played a crucial role in guiding the company through this monumental year, overseeing our strategic direction and ensuring strong corporate governance. Our focus remained on responsible stewardship of the company, considering not only the interests of our shareholders, but also our obligations to our employees, customers, and the wider community. But strategy alone does not build legacy. It is the dedication of our people. Our achievements would not be possible without our generations of employees whose ingenuity and hard work fuel our success. We also deeply appreciate the trust and the collaboration of our valued customers and partners who have supported us throughout our 50-year journey. The celebration of our 50th anniversary provided a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge these irreplaceable relationships and the collective efforts that have shaped Omni into the company it is today. Looking ahead, from the vantage point of the board, we are confident in Omni's readiness to seize future opportunities and steer through potential challenges. When this company was founded in 1974, it was a vision grounded in a belief that manufacturing could be a transformative force, not only for our products, but for our communities and livelihoods. That purpose remains unchanged, and we continue to play our part in Jamaica's development. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, I extend my deepest gratitude to our team members, shareholders, customers, and partners. I trust you have placed in us, the trust you have placed in us has been key to our progress. And with your support, we are poised to build on our successes and tackle new opportunities in the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I make an apology to you for mixing up the agenda. I should have opened up a Q&A to Mr. Kumst. We do have some questions online. Firstly, I'd like to thank many of the shareholders online who have sent their congratulations to the Omni team. So, Mr. Kumst, there is a question online. Would Omni Industries look at investing in the production and sale of water storage tank to the local and international residential and commercial markets?
Well, that's an interesting question. Thank you. We actually have had those discussions for some years now, but we believe that the market in Jamaica is currently being supplied in a satisfactory manner with the existing suppliers, and therefore we don't see where it would add value for Omni to enter into that market space. So to answer the question more directly, no, that's not a product that we'd be going into at any near future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kumst. A rather challenging question here. Ryan, you may want to be ready for this one. Coming from Prince Myers. Are you able to explain the 25% increase in directors' remuneration and 35% in staff salaries? Either Mr. Combs or Mr. James.
Yeah, you can ask me. I'll ask Mr. James to respond.
Mr. Ryan James, Financial Controller, will respond to Prince Myers.
Yes, thank you very much. So for the financial year 2024, we did have a salary adjustment for the staff, and that also included the directors.
And this was in keeping with budgeted budget strategy.
Yes, correct.
Understood. Thank you so much, Mr. James.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you for the overview that you had just given. It is clear that 2024 was a pivotal year for Omni, not just in terms of numbers, but in maturity and momentum for the company that has built so much after entering the public space. In accordance with the agenda outlined in Notice 1, I will now proceed with the ordinary business of today's meeting. Mr. Chairman, can I ask you to join me at the, not yet. In accordance with Article 53 of the company's Articles of Incorporation, the company's audited financial statements, the director's report, and the auditor's report, which are contained in the annual report for the year ended 31st December 2024, previously circulated to shareholders, I will now invite Mr. Warren Bogle, partner of Bogle and Company, Chartered Accountants, to read the auditor's report.
Pleasant good morning to everyone. And my own congratulations to Omni on their achievements in the market. The auditor's report. This is found in your booklet, pages 53 and onwards, which would include the financial statements. To the members of Omni Industries Limited, report on the audit of the financial statements. We have audited the financial statements of Omni Industries Limited, the company, set out on pages 6 to 42 in our booklet, but it will be 53 to 89 in yours, which comprise the statement of financial position at 31 December 2024, the statement of comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, and the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and a summary of material accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at December 31, 2024, and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and comply with the Jamaican Companies Act. Basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standards on Auditing, ISAS. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We believe that our audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. We're independent of the company in accordance with International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, IESB Code. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the IESB Code. Audit scope. As part of designing our audit, we determined the materiality and assessed the risks of material misstatement in the financial statements. In particular, we considered where management made subjective judgments, for example, in respect of significant accounting estimates that involve making assumptions and considering future events that are inherently uncertain. As in all of our audits, we also addressed the risk of management override of internal controls, including, among other matters, consideration of whether there was evidence of bias that represented a risk of material misstatement due to fraud. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, were of most significance in our audit of the financial statements. Those matters were addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statements as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on those matters. Key audit matter. The company recognizes expected credit losses, ECL, on financial assets measured at amortized cost. The determination of ECL is highly subjective and requires management to make significant judgment and estimates and the application of forward-looking information. Our audit procedure in response to this matter included obtaining an understanding of the model used by the management for the calculation of expected credit losses and trade receivables, testing the completeness and accuracy of the data used in expected credit loss model to the underlying accounting records on a sample basis, including testing the recording and aging of trade receivables. Assessment of the appropriateness of the company's impairment methodology, management's assumption, and compliance with IFRS 9 financial instruments. Evaluating the appropriateness of the economic parameters, including the use of forward-looking information. Testing the accuracy of credit loss calculations. Assessing the adequacy of the disclosures of the key assumptions and judgments for the compliance with IFRS 9. Other information. Management is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the information included in the annual report, but does not include the financial statements and our auditor's report thereon. The annual report is expected to be made available to us after the date of this auditor's report. Our opinion on the financial statements does not cover the other information, and we will not express any form of assurance or conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information identified above when it becomes available, and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. When we read the annual report, if we conclude that there is a material misstatement thereon, we are required to communicate the matter to those charged with governance. Responsibilities of management and those charged with governance for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation of financial statements that give a true and fair view in accordance with IFRS and the Jamaican Companies Act, and for such internal control as management determines is necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statements, management is responsible for assessing the company's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing, as applicable, matters related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of accounting unless management either intends to liquidate the company or cease operation or has no realistic alternative but to do so. Those charged with the governance are responsible for overseeing the company's financial reporting process. Auditors' responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in the aggregate they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of these financial statements. A further description of our responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements is included in the appendix of this auditor's report. This description, which is located page 5 in our booklet, forms part of the auditor's report. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. As required by the Jamaican Companies Act, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. In our opinion, proper accounting records have been maintained as far as appears from our examination of those records, and the financial statements which are in agreement therewith give the information required by the Jamaica Companies Act in the manner required. The engagement partner on this audit resulting in this independent auditor's opinion is Warwick Bogle. Signed, Bogle and Company Chartered Accountants, Kingston, Jamaica, March 27, 2025. The appendix to the independent auditor's report is on the next page, which in the booklet is page 5, which I will read. As part of an audit in accordance with ISAs, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risks of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. Design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. We also obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the company's internal control. We also evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by management. We also conclude on the appropriateness of management's use of going concern basis of accounting and, based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention to in our auditor's report to the related disclosures in the financial statements, or if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the company to cease to continue as a going concern. We also evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statements, including the disclosures, and whether the financial statements represent the underlying transactions and events in a manner that presents a true and fair view. We communicate with those, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in internal control that we identified during our audit. We also provide those charged with governance with a statement that we have complied with the relevant ethical requirements regarding independence, and to communicate with them all relationships and other matters that may reasonably be thought to bear on our independence, and where applicable, related safeguards. From the matters communicated with those charged with governance, we determined those matters that were of most significance in the audit of the financial statements of the current period, and are therefore the key matters. We describe these matters in our auditor's report unless law or regulation precludes public disclosure about the matters, or when, in extremely rare circumstances, we determine that a matter should not be communicated in our report because the adverse consequences of doing so would reasonably be expected to outweigh the public interest benefits of such communication. This is the auditor's report. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bogle. Mr. Chairman, at this point, we move into the formal part of the meeting, the resolutions. If I might remind the shareholders online, you will be able to vote for or against. You will be able to vote for or against by clicking vote now. It will ask you if you are sure, and then you will submit thereafter. We will have a Q&A section right now before we move into the resolutions. While the information is fresh in anyone's minds, you may submit questions online. I will see them and hand them off to the relevant persons. And if there is anyone in the room, please raise your hand, and a microphone that is in my hand will be brought to you. We have 2 questions in the room.
Pleasant good morning. Lancel Bloomfield, shareholder. Mr. Chairman, I thank you very much for this opportunity to be here in person to attend your first AGM. And I would love for you to keep it this way. Mr. Chair, the managing director has painted an handsome, bright future, and I really love it. Hence the first question: what is your dividend policy, if you have one?
Thank you, Mr. Bloomfield. We do have a dividend policy. It is actually outlined in the prospectus. I don't have the prospectus in front of me now to actually read it, but it speaks to a dividend policy of up to 25%. Up to.
Okay. Can you just push it up a little further to 30%?
That would be a matter for the board.
Because, Mr. Chairman, the future looks so bright, then you could just help to brighten us with some more. Probably a 40%.
Thank you so much for that question, and I know that the chairman will definitely consider it. May I ask you to have your second question, as we allow shareholders a maximum of 2 questions.
All right. Page 54, note 17. Mr. Chairman, in 2023, your receivables were 342.193 million. And in 2024, this line item has climbed to 387.429 million. What has caused this massive jump in your receivables?
We'll ask Ryan James to address that. While Mr. Bloomfield, it will be responded to. I'm just allowing Ryan the opportunity to look up the numbers and verify and certainly address your question correctly. And while we do that, as Ryan forms his opinion, Mr. Coombs, there is a question online coming in from Ryan Wallace. With the world moving to reduce plastic waste and its impact on the environment, how is Omni Industries playing a part to help to reduce the negative impact of plastic waste, which when your products are made from plastic? I believe here Mr. Wallace would love to hear more about your recycling of initiatives at Omni.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Wallace. We are, being a plastic manufacturer, we recognize that we have a responsibility to the environment, and we have a very aggressive recycling policy where we take back consumer products, particularly crates, buckets, things of that nature, and we do recycle them and turn them into other usable products that are offered to the market. A lot of our packaging material is also multi-use, meaning that it's not like paper where you use it once and it's discarded. Our packaging materials are used over and over again and are actually designed by our engineering team to last for us up as 7 years in the same immaculate condition as they were manufactured. So those are some of the policies that programs that we have. We also ensure that we try to reduce our energy footprint where we can. We have 300 megawatts of solar that we use to offset our energy consumption, and we also have ways of mitigating wastage in water by a closed loop water system, so nothing is discarded.
Thank you so much, sir. Ryan,
Yes. Thank you.
Go ahead to Mr. Bloomfield's question.
Right. All right. So, Mr. Broomfield, the main reason for that increase in our receivables was really due to the weather phenomenon that we had last year. We had a lot of rain from the end of June last year right to December.
Through
We had Hurricane Beryl as well, and those events impacted our customers' ability to pay on time. We have since then regularized those accounts, and we are back to normal operation as it relates to our receivables.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
So going forward, we should be seeing a reduction in the receivables.
Correct. If sales doesn't increase, because receivables tend to increase with sales.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bloomfield. We'll just take 2 more questions. I believe before that, there was a gentleman here in plaid, and then we'll come to you, sir, at the back for the last question.
Yeah, Robert March here. This Omni used to be thermoplastics, I imagine. So thermoplastics long ago, no?
No, sir.
Because they used to make the same products, buckets,
Well,
crates.
To differentiate that, In 2000, Omni Industries took over the assets of thermoplastics. We were nowhere in any shape or form related prior to, or still. We only bought out the assets. Thermoplastics went into receivership.
So when you say the assets, you're talking about the molds.
The machinery, the
And
land.
molds, right?
Correct.
So these big molds, I assume you don't make these molds here. They're all imported.
The tooling is imported, that's
right,
correct.
You know, but you do the repairs, of course.
Yes, we do.
Which
Mr. Ramasamy.
I'm the most important man here.
By far.
In my estimation. Right, because I know the industry, like I spoke earlier,
Sure.
right? So, just wondering if you guys are into corrugated sheet metal. Let's say a roll former here on your financial page.
That's a very good observation, and thank you for raising that. Yes, we actually do.
You do corrugated?
We do. We manufacture corrugated
Really?
sheeting for roofing, correct.
Roll forming?
Yes.
I thought you do like the translucent sheeting.
No, the aluminum zinc.
I like plastic, you know.
Well, those sheets we don't do, but
Right.
we do the aluminum zinc.
But you do corrugated sheet.
Correct.
Okay, just an observation.
Thank you, sir. And our final question to the gentleman at the back to the left, or my left.
Good morning, Kevin Willox, shareholder. How does management assess the return on investment of the IPO-funded capital expenditures thus far? How have the new molding machines and logistics upgrades begun to show measurable efficiency or revenue gains?
Mr. Combs?
All right, thank you for that. Many of the assets acquired by the IPO have only just been commissioned. So the reality is, 2 machines were commissioned late last year, and one machine has been commissioned literally 2 weeks ago. So we haven't yet seen tangible impacts from that, but that will come in 2025.
Okay, my other question, is the company looking to expand in other polymer processing methods such as calendaring or casting to offer a wider variety of polymer products?
Say the example that you just mentioned. Say that again.
Calendaring or casting, polymer processing techniques?
Not at this time, no.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if other questions come budding to mind, we will have a short Q&A at the end for those online and in person. Mr. Chairman, at this point, we move into the formal part of the meeting, the resolutions. These are the items we've come together to vote on as shareholders, as they've all been outlined in the notice of the annual general meeting, shared in the annual report on the JSE's website, and are right here today. Just a quick reminder again to all our shareholders before we begin. You will either be able to vote in person with a show of hands or online by clicking on the vote button when prompted. You have 30 seconds online to vote. When each resolution is moved and seconded, you'll have 30 seconds. And of course, if you're holding a proxy, your votes will be reflected accordingly. Let us begin with Resolution 1. I now ask a shareholder to propose and another shareholder to second Resolution 1 that the audited accounts for the year ended 31st December 2024 and the reports of the directors and auditors be and are hereby adopted. Note, shareholders should state their names clearly and indicate that they propose or second the resolution.
I so propose.
Your name? May I have someone to second? Mr. Chairman, we have Daniel Chambers and Courtney Francis to first and second. I now put Resolution 1 before the meeting. Those in favor? Please keep your hands as we have counters, and those online, you have 30 seconds. People, the audience, you can put your hands down as we await the voting process to complete. Surprisingly, technology does make this easier. Chairman, we have 30 in favor and 1 against.
I
Which-
declare
Nope.
13 in favor, 1 against. I
Yes,
declare the resolution carried.
carried. Election of directors. In accordance with the Companies Act, 1/3 of the directors, not including the managing director, are retiring by rotation and being eligible to offer themselves for re-election. Further, the retiring directors shall be eligible for re-election. These are Ms. Justine Collins, Mr. Vincent Clark, and Ms. C. Patricia Hale. I now ask a shareholder and another to propose and another to second Resolution A, that Ms. Justine Collins, retired by rotation, be and hereby re-elected as director. May I have someone propose? Courtney Francis to first. Gloria McNaughton has seconded. Mr. Chairman,
Resolution number 2 was proposed by Courtney and seconded by Gloria McNaughton.
I now put resolution 2A to the meeting for the vote. Those in favor and those against, I invite you to vote online. Those in favor in the room, may I ask you to raise your hand. Please hold until I say completed. We'll wait for the voting to be input online as well. You may lower your hands. Mr. Chairman, we have 32 shareholders voting for and 0 against.
I declare the resolution carried.
I now ask a shareholder to propose and another to second resolution number 2B, that Ms. C. Patricia Hale, retired by rotation, be and hereby be re-elected as director. Note that in-person shareholders and online should state their names clearly and indicate that they propose or second the resolution. Those, Mr. Lancel Bloomfield. So if you can just get that spelling for me. And we have Ryan James seconding, Mr. Chairman. I now put resolution number 2B to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor of Ms. Patricia Hale being retired by rotation and hereby re-elected as director. Those in favor? Pardon me. I will just continue with Patricia Hale.
Patricia, yeah.
For clarity, we're voting that C. Patricia Hale be retired by rotation, B. and hereby be re-elected as director. We had someone propose, someone second. I now put it to the vote for a meeting, for a vote, to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor, please keep your hands up. Members online, you have 30 seconds to vote. That's fine. Anyone against? Mr. Chairman, we have 30 shareholders voting for and 1 against.
Okay, I declare the resolution carried.
Mr. Chairman, I move to the next resolution that Mr. Vincent Clark, retired by rotation, be and hereby be re-elected as director. Shareholders must surely state their names clearly and indicate if they propose or second the resolution. May I have someone to propose? Your name? Ms. Suzette Pottinger, may I have someone to second? Mr. Chuck, correct. We are going to spell that.
That's what Mr. Chuck.
Mr. Chuck. I put this resolution to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor? By way of hands and voting online, please keep your hands up until the vote is complete. Those in the room, you may lower your hands. Mr. Chairman, we await the vote. Mr. Chairman, there are 29 shareholders voting for this resolution and 0 against.
I declare the resolution carried.
Fellow shareholders, before we continue, please note that resolutions 3A and 3B will be read and taken together. I will now ask a shareholder to propose and another to second resolutions 3A and 3B. That the directors be and hereby empowered to fix the remuneration of non-executive directors, and that the amount shown in the audited accounts of the company for the year ended 31 December 2024 as remuneration paid to the directors for their services as directors be and hereby approved. Shareholders should state their names clearly and indicate if they propose or second the resolution. May I have someone propose? Has first as proposed. May I have someone to second? Mr. Courtney Francis. has seconded. Mr. Chairman, Resolution 3A and B were proposed by Mr. Francis and Mr. Bloomfield. I now put resolutions 3A and 3B to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor? It is a reminder to shareholders online that you have 30 seconds to cast your vote. Shareholders in the room, you can lower your hands. Do we have anyone in the room against? Voting is in progress. Mr. Chairman, we have 31 shareholders for and 1 against.
I declare the resolution carried.
Appointment of auditors and their remuneration. I now ask a shareholder to propose and another to second Resolution 4, that the auditing firm of Bogle and Company, Chartered Accountants of the Unit 6 Dragon Court, 6 South Avenue, Kingston 10 St. Andrew, having signified their willingness to serve, continue in office as auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting at a remuneration to be agreed upon by the directors. Shareholders in the room, shareholders online, I ask for those who for someone to propose and for someone to second the resolution. Mark Anthony. Sorry, may I hear again? Barton. Mark Anthony Barton has firsted. Has seconded. I now put resolution number 4 to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor, by way of hands. Those online, it is a reminder that you have 30 seconds to vote. Shareholders in the room, you can lower your hands. Those against. Feel like we need a Jeopardy song. Mr. Chairman, I can report that we have 30 shareholders voting for and 1 against.
I declare the resolution carried.
Mr. Chairman, we will now move to any other business. Fellow shareholders, we are now at any other business, and the Board of Directors seek your approval to consider, and if thought fit, pass this resolution to convene future shareholders' meetings of the company via a video conference platform. I will now read the resolution. I now ask a shareholder to propose and another to second this 5th resolution, that Omni Industries Limited, the company, be and hereby allowed to convene future annual general meetings via a video conference platform. I now ask a shareholder to propose and another to second. We have Ryan James to propose and Vincent Clark to second. I now put Resolution 5 to the meeting for a vote. Those in favor, please raise your hands, and those online, please cast your vote. Those in favor? Those in the room can lower their hands. Those against? Is there anyone who is abstaining? We have one person in the room, 2, 3 abstaining. We now await the votes to be tallied. Mr. Chairman, I report that 29 shareholders have voted for, 1 against, and we had 3 in the room to abstain.
I declare the resolution carried.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the business of our first annual general meeting.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite any questions online. I will field the ones online, and if there are any further questions in the room.
Mr. Chairman, I would love to have some clarity on your last resolution, because I thought I made it quite clear as a shareholder as to what the future should look like in our AGM, only to be ambushed at the end by this resolution. So I'm not so sure as to where you're going with this resolution. This says video conference only. Be mindful of the fact that many small shareholders really don't have access to the internet. And up to this point, only 50% of the country is covered by internet. 50. That's their statistics, not my own. Right? So, are you saying to us that by this last resolution, you will not be having a meeting like this with your shareholder? Because that says on the video conference, you know, it doesn't say it's a hybrid, it doesn't say it's anything else.
The resolution, if I may, said that we have the option to do so, and I will allow the managing director to address the reasons for sometimes wanting to do an annual general meeting online only.
Mr. Bloomfield, thank you again for sharing that. The resolution came about through the idea of cost, one of cost. It is expensive to host this event, you know, but I do understand that your concerns, and as the moderator rightfully said, it really gives us the option to exercise it if the case arises. And that is something that we will certainly take into consideration. Quite frankly, as I sit here, I do like the interpersonal interaction. I do like to meet my shareholders face to face. You know, I love to chat with some of you afterwards. I know I have a particular answer for Mr. Marsh at the end of it. So it's really only to exercise it, to give us the option to exercise. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will be exercising.
Excellent.
Are there any further questions in the room? Oh, wow, okay. Yes, we are active. And online shareholders, please feel welcome to. I am actually looking at a screen here. And by the way, before I get there, Mr. Lancelot White.
Landslide.
No, I'm reading. And unfortunately, the page decided to refresh at the time, but I will see his name in a second. Has wished you all in different ways by name. Obviously, a shareholder who feels quite akin to Omni wished you all very, very well, Mr. Vincent. Particularly blessings to you. As soon as my screen comes up, I will be able to read it. If we could go, Soyini, to another question in the room. Missed much.
Okay. The company's closed loop recycling system was expanded. Oh, yes. Okay, the company's closed loop recycling system was expanded. And during the internal plastic scrap is reintegrated in the production process. Now, you're saying 80% cheaper than virgin resin. Now, you're using polystyrene, polypropylene mostly, I guess, and nylon. How are you getting 80%? I mean, virgin, what you're doing, mixing 20% virgin with 80% regrind?
No. For clarification, we don't use polystyrene or we use polypropylene but not polystyrene, and we use polyethylene.
Right.
So those are the three materials that we would take back in and recycle. In many cases, that material comes in at a much lower cost than prime virgin material.
Right. Virgin expensive.
Correct. And the cost that you're seeing there, we actually can run it 100% from recycled materials, certain products, obviously.
Yeah.
And therefore, that is why you would see such a high savings.
Yeah. I mean, the most we use is like 25% virgin, 75% regrind, you know what I mean? And you throw it away, or you get a big warehouse full of regrind, you know what I mean?
No, we utilize 100%.
All of the regrind.
Yes, we do.
That's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's good. Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for that. We'll take 2 more questions, if there are.
So revenue declined by 6%, largely due to the construction sector slowdown. Given that 58% of revenues come from this sector, what contingency plans now exist to shield against further construction or similar sector-specific risks? Is there a risk over exposure to a single sector in 2025?
Thank you for that question. I'm actually glad you raised it. Product diversification is key to mitigate against any ebbs and flow of one particular industry. So the construction sector is an important sector for Omni. However, only 56% or 58% of our total revenue is garnered from that industry. We also supply products to the beverage industry and the paint industry, and those don't necessarily have the same issues as construction. And so if we're impacted by one market segment, the other market segment will shore the company. One of the things that we're also looking for to mitigate against that is the export market.
Okay, and that leads to my next question. Exports accounted for 14% of revenue, with a stated focus on expanding to 20% in the future. Or will Omni address supply chain risks to meet export targets?
Ooh. You know, that supply chain is a continuing challenge. One of the strategies that we have, of course, that we don't rely on any one geographical region. So, you know, a lot of our inputs are sourced from the US market, from Central America, Latin America, European markets, Asian markets. So at any given time, if there is a logistical challenge, that of course last year there was and continues to be, you know, certainly in with the Middle East development, that has disrupted shipping flows from Asia. You know, we just lean on our other partners from Central America or North America. And, you know, so it's a continual balancing game, but that's how we manage it.
All right, I want to squeeze in a last question. What are your 3 most measurable KPIs for financial year 2025, and how will shareholders track whether the company is delivering on its growth narrative?
Good morning again. Well, the 3 main KPIs, I would say, one is growth in revenue. The second would be our collections in terms of receivables. And the third would be ensuring that we reduce our expenses to improve our bottom line.
Mr. Kuntz, you spoke earlier about expanding also regionally and opportunities there in terms of KPIs as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I want to thank Paula Miller Foster, who pointed out that a number of shareholders are living in, you know, herself living in St. Elizabeth, and are very supportive of having this as a video conference and being able to be at work while still being able to play her part as a shareholder. So we thank her for that comment. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Omni team, I'm so sorry, we did have one more question, but sir, do you mind, our chairman and managing director will be around having refreshments, and I ask you to interact with the management team here. On behalf of the Omni team, thank you so much for attending and participating today. Thanks to our streaming and audiovisual team, Affinity, our marketing communications team, DRT Communications, and it says our gracious host, but I can't thank myself. I now realize it meant our gracious host, the Courtly Hotel. Please join us for refreshments and travel safely where you go. We look forward to seeing you again at the next AGM. Have a great day and be blessed, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.